video, live stream, whatever you want to call it. So we are here with a new thing. So the NBA completely gone. They've now become the SCBA, the Sports and College Basketball Association. So we have changed every team. And NBA 2K20, the way I had to do it was relocate teams. And there's it's just the NBA players were moved through fantasy draft. So there are 36 total teams, between two conferences, 3 divisions in each conference, and 6 teams in each division. So on this conference, we have the sports conference. So we have the football division with the Eagles, the Patriots, the Jets, the Giants, the Bills, and the Lions. Then we have the baseball division, which has the Brewers, the White Sox, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Rays, and the Indians, the Cleveland Indians. And then this next division is the struggle division. I called it that because they're teams that actually were struggling as a team in real life. So you have the Marlins, the Dolphins, the Bengals, the Buccaneers, the Royals, and the Bears. So now we move to the college conference. So we got the first division is the Big Ten division. So you have Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan State, Maryland, Rutgers, and Michigan. Then we have the talent division, which has Duke, Kentucky, Villanova, Kentucky, North Carolina, Kansas, and UCF. Then the skill division, you have Auburn, Florida Gators, you have Gonzaga, Alabama, Clemson, Missouri, and Missouri. So that is how it is set up. So let's see how everyone sees the power rankings. I'm not going to show you the team, but I want you to take guesses based on how they're ranked. So according to NBA.com, you got North Carolina, Villanova, Bills, the Patriots, the Buccaneers, Clemson, Alabama, Maryland, the Bears, Blue Jays, Eagles, UCF, Michigan, Giants, White Sox, Duke, Brewers, Kentucky, Auburn, Gonzaga, Dolphins, Ohio State, Missouri, Michigan State, the Bengals, Rutgers, Kansas, Marlins, Penn State, Jets, Lions, Yankees, Florida, Indians, Rays, Royals, 2K Sports, Villanova, Patriots, Alabama, North Carolina, White Sox, Eagles, Tigers, Bears, Terrapins, Brewers, and I'm not going to say the rest, but I'm going to go through. So teams will definitely be different, that's for sure. So Kentucky, they have actually Kentucky all the way down here. I don't remember if last time. Gonzaga 27 compared to what 2K.com. then Eric, he's got the Buccaneers all the way at second, so he's definitely going with different than what everyone else has thought, what 2K has thought. So, interesting. He has the Eagles towards the lower end. Okay, so interesting. So they have mixed opinions. So now let's get to the team. So I'm going to be going in order of like from Eagles and then just go whatever is next. So we have the Philadelphia Eagles who have Fred VanVleet, Jalen Brunson, and Juwan Evans. Bradley Beal and Iman Shumpert are the guards. Small forwards, they got Joe Harris, good three-point shooter for them. Glenn Robinson and Omri Caspi. Oh, my bad. Power forward, Taj Gibson, Michael Beasley, Maurice Harkless, and center Dwight Howard and Pau Gasol with Tyson Chandler. So now we move on to the Cincinnati Bengals, who have Westbrook and Moutier. They got Nickeil Alexander-Walker as their starting shooting guard, so that's good young talent to have. They got another two young talents in Isaac and Josh Jackson at small forward. Power forward, they're also pretty young at 20, and then also they have Alan Smailagic, who is a 19-year-old. Then center, they got Zubac, who's pretty young as well. So they're a pretty young team. Moody is also 23. So now we got the Brewers. So Tomas Satoransky and Aaron Holiday. Not much at point guard. Shooting guard, they got Jaylen Brown and Kevin Huerter. So it's a good guard combo. Small forward, they actually have Jarrett Culver and Alec Burks. Power forward, they got Siakam, Vonleh. At center, JaVale McGee. So now we move on to the White Sox. So Isaiah Thomas will be leading the guard group with Devontae Graham being his backup. Shooting guard, they got JR or Tyler Johnson, their choice. Then small forward, Covington and Crowder. Power forward, they got Blake Griffin. Then center, they got Nurkic and Bobby Portis. So now we move on to the Yankees. The Yankees get Steph Curry. This is not with the injury. And then shooting guard, Norman Powell. Small forward, they got Chris Middleton. So interesting. Julius Randle, they have at power forward, and they do have Eric Paschal, who's pretty good. And then Kevon Looney at center position. So now we move on to the Patriots. They got Malcolm Brogdon. Shooting guards, they got Harden and then Crawford. Small forward, they have Vince Carter, but they have Iguodala who will play over him. So pretty old small forward group. And power forward is PJ Tucker is their power forward with Larry Nance. Then they got Mitchell Robinson at center and Jahlil Okafor. So that's an interesting group there. Duke Blue Devils, they got Reggie Jackson and Shabazz Napier. Then they got Lou Williams. Wonder if they'll use him in the starting role or if they'll continue to keep him as a sixth-man guy as he's been with in his past. Jeremy Lamb also could be an interesting guy to use. So they got Kevin Durant. He's definitely going to be the guy of this team. Davis Bertans or Jerebko, but I think they're more likely to go with Bertans. He's younger by 6 years. And he has a little bit better three-point shooting, which might be something that could be pretty useful. Center, they got Steven Adams and a pretty young center behind him in Jakob Poeltl. Florida Gators, they got Schroeder. They got Wiggins and LeVert, so that's definitely going to be interesting. A good shooting guard group, so you can get LeVert to score off the bench, or you can have Wiggins score off the bench. Small forward, a little bit of a weaker spot. They got Chandler Hutchinson. Power forward, Kristaps Porzingis. And then Wendell Carter Jr. and Aaron Baines. That's a pretty good duo of centers, I'd say. Baines, real life's been pretty good. Now we move to Gonzaga. They got the young point guard, Kobe White. Their starting point guard. Shooting guard, they got Zach LaVine. So that's two Bulls in real life. It's funny. Then you got Daniel House. So small forward seems to be a little bit of a problem for some teams. As Aaron Gordon. And then Joel Embiid. So that's a pretty good front court of Aaron Gordon and Joel Embiid. So now we move to the Marlins. They got Spencer Dinwiddie, who's a pretty good point guard, but behind him, not too much. Shooting guard Danny Green and Bryn Forbes. They got Oubre and Korver, so Korver can get you that three-point shooting off the bench. Or if you use him at shooting guard, maybe. But they do have Danny Green, who's most likely going to be the starter there. Then they got the young power forward, Marvin Bagley. And at center, they also got a young center, Thomas Bryant, so a little bit younger on the front court. Not the best team, though. So we move to the Bears. They got Damian Lillard. Shooting guard, another good guy to have, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Hart. So a pretty good guard group for them. Not that bad at small forward with Tim Hardaway. At power forward, Kaminsky will get you stuff. He's 7 foot, so at power forward he's useful. And then DeMarcus Cousins. And they have Willie Cauley-Stein, so pretty good team for the Bears. The Michigan State Spartans, they got DeJounte Murray. They got a young point guard group, all under 25. Shooting guard, they got Devin Booker. Small forward, also pretty young. They got Juan Hernan-Gomez and OG Anunoby there. That's notable. Pretty young team as I'm seeing, because Sabonis 23, Leaf 22. Then at center, Bol. This is a very young team. Their oldest player is Justin Holiday, and then everyone else is under 25. That is very interesting. So they went with a very young team. So now we move to the Cleveland Indians, who have Chris Paul playing the point guard for them. Shooting guard, I knew something was up with the order. Then you got Bogdanovich or Waiters, depending on how you want to play it. I would say probably Waiters as the starter, because Bogdanovich can get you points off the bench, I would say, but who knows? They got Michael Porter Jr., and I like Chetty Osman there. He could be a good guy off the bench. They got Al Horford and Christian Wood, and then Robin Lopez, and the young Jackson Hayes. We'll see if they decide to actually stay with Lopez at the starter, which I assume, or if they actually try to start their not rookie, but young player in Jackson Hayes. I don't know if they consider him a rookie or not. So we got Markelle Fultz and TJ McConnell. So, should be interesting. I'm assuming they're going to go with Fultz as the younger point guard, but who knows? His shooting has been questionable. Reggie Bullock, shooting guard. DeAndre Hunter, the young small forward. And his backup is also very young, Troy Brown. You got Kuzma. And then at center, you got Karl Anthony Towns. And you got Boban to come off the bench, 7'4". That's going to be big for this team. As we move to Kentucky. Eric Bledsoe at the point guard. So that's a pretty good starting point guard there to have. Bruce Brown, not very good. Small forward, you got Miles Bridges and Mikal Bridges. They have both the brothers. So that's interesting. Then they got Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's going to be a game changer, as he always is. And then center, they got Rudy Gobert. That's a good front two. And they got a good point guard, so that's probably going to be a pretty good team. The Jets got John Wall. Shooting guard, they got Colin Sexton playing there. Small forward, you got Otto Porter. No, my bad. Power forward, you got Jason Tatum. And then at center, you got Nerlens Noel or Derek Favors. It really could go either way. I don't really know which way they'll go. One's more of a glass cleaning finisher and one's a rim protector. So, like, it's pretty tough. Do you want defense or do you want the rebounds and then finishing after getting the rebound? That's going to be an interesting situation. Villanova got Patrick Beverly. They got CJ McCollum, Paul George, Zach Randolph, and DeAndre Jordan. The Lions got D'Angelo Russell, Donovan Mitchell. So it's going to be a good guard combo. And they have Isaac Bonga at the small forward, so that's interesting. Paul Millsap, and then Cody Zeller, who's actually not that bad. So, looking pretty good. You got the UCF Knights. They got Darius Garland, Terrence Ross, DeMar DeRozan, Anthony Davis, and Jarrett Allen, and Jonas Valanciunas. So they got depth at that center position. Valanciunas actually can shoot threes. I did not know that, but Allen is going to be a tough guy to get scores on, considering he's known to get blocks. Then we move to Auburn, who has Jeff Teague, Jrue Holiday, TJ Warren, Thaddeus Young, and Andre Drummond. So a pretty good all-around team. Got Ricky Rubio. He's going to pass the ball pretty well. Got Luke Kennard. He can shoot the three pretty well. Marcus Morris. He might hit the defender in the head. I don't know. We really don't know. Marcus Aldridge at power forward, and Bam Adebayo at center. And Alex Len, I expected pretty good performance from him off the bench. He's going to be my surprise of the season. That's what I'm going to say. Never know. So Kyle Lowry starting for this Rutgers team. Shooting guard, they got Caldwell Pope. Small forward, they got Barden. Power forward, the young 21-year-old PJ Washington. And then at center, they go young with DeAndre Ayton. Now we move to the Blue Jays, who got Kyrie Irving. And the 6'5" Delon Wright. Evan Fournier. Stanley Johnson. So it seems like small forward is a pretty weak spot for some teams. And then John Collins at power forward, and Hassan Whiteside and Cantor at center. So another team with multiple centers that are 80 above. So now we move to Missouri. They have Ben Simmons and Kendrick Nunn. That is something to note. He's pretty good. Pat Connaughton, a little bit weak in the shooting guard position. Small forward, Ariza. Power forward, Rudy Gay. And then center, you got Miles Turner. Now the Dolphins, they got Kemba Walker. They also have Buddy Hield, so that's a pretty good guard combo. They got Winslow at small forward, or you can go Matisse Thybulle, but I think I know where they're going to go with it. You got Grant Williams, who's young, or you can go with the 31-year-old Mike Scott. And then there's Mark Gasol. So, interesting. So now we got the Buffalo Bills, who have Mike Conley, Luka Doncic, and Clarkson off the bench. I expect quite a bit from Clarkson off the bench. Got Batum and Reddish. Reddish, if he performs well, might be able to take over Batum. He might be able to take the starting role. Bjelica at power forward, and then Capella at center. For the Rays, you got Ja Morant leading this point guard position. Shooting guard, you got Victor Oladipo and Tyler Hero. He can be a big guy off the bench. Rodney Hood at small forward. Dario Saric, and at center, Ed Davis. Now we move to Clemson with Derek White, RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Jeremy Grant, and Tristan Thompson. The Royals got De'Aaron Fox and Dennis Smith. Avery Bradley at shooting guard, Kevin Knox at small forward with Nasir Little. So young small forward group there. Power forward, they got Bojan Bogdanovic, and at center, pretty weak with Marquise Chris. Now we move to Alabama, who have Lonzo Ball. They did get Klay Thompson though, so that could be an interesting guard combo. Lonzo, more pass based, a little bit better with his passing than shooting. Joe Ingles, he's a good 3-point shooter to have. Kevin Love can shoot the three, and then you also got Ibaka. So Lonzo has people who can shoot around him, so that's definitely helpful for having a guy like Lonzo. So now you have Kansas, who has Trae Young and Terry Rozier, Grayson Allen, Tobias Harris at the small forward, and power forward they got Danilo Gallinari and Brandon Clark. And then center they got Damian Jones. For Penn State they got DeAnthony Melton, Marcus Smart, Harrison Barnes, Zion Williamson, and Hachimura, and Jordan Bell. So a little bit towards the weaker side, but can make their way up since they're pretty young. Got Monte Morris, Gary Harris, Gordon Hayward, Lauri Markkanen, and Jokic. So I like that front court of Hayward, Markkanen, and Jokic. That is a front court to watch out for. As we move to Maryland, who's got Goran Dragic, Josh Richardson, Jimmy Butler, Nikola Mirotic, and Nikola Vucevic. Now we move to North Carolina, who have Derrick Rose. They got Kevin Porter, Kawhi Leonard. He's going to be obviously the top guy in this offense. They got Jabari Parker and Carmelo. Nope. And they got Montrezl Harrell. Now we move to the Buccaneers, who have Jamal Murray and Rondo. Got Roberson. They have LeBron James. So expecting big teams. A big season from them. They also got Draymond and they got Mo Bamba. So pretty good team. And now that is the last team that we look over. So the first game of the season is the Brewers versus the Indians. So quick view of the first day or two, the first 2 days. So you got the Brewers starting out their season against the Cleveland Indians. Then you have the Jets facing Clemson. You have the Marlins versus the Bears, so a divisional matchup there. Also a divisional matchup here. And then you have another divisional matchup, Rutgers versus Michigan State. And then tomorrow, Bears go out again to face Villanova this time. That'll be the first game. Then you got Ohio State versus Michigan State. Patriots versus Auburn. Rays versus the Giants. Marlins, North Carolina. Bengals and the Missouri Tigers. And then the Brewers and Indians face off again. Yankees, Blue Jays. Alabama and White Sox. Buccaneers, Eagles. Penn State, Kentucky. Michigan, Rutgers, Gonzaga, Royals, Lions versus Maryland, and to finish off, Duke versus UCF, so it's semifinal rematch, except way different. So the coaches, let me just show you that. So we have Wyatt Zimmerman, coach of the Eagles, Bengals, Steve Porter, the Brewers, Henry Miller, Jim Boylan for the White Sox, John Byland for the Yankees, Jaden Brown, Patriots, Oliver Gatson for Duke, Tyson McGuire for Florida, Taylor Jenkins for Gonzaga, Billy Vincent for the Marlins, Francis Woods for the Bears, Cuba Gooding for the Spartans, Jake Thomas for the Indians, Roger Rush for Michigan, Don Carter for the Kentucky, Michael Stauffer for the Jets, Trent Peterson for Villanova, Milan Mack for the Lions, Jacob Underwood for UCF, Otis Newman for Auburn, Owen Taylor for the Giants, Lucas for Rutgers, Stephen Dawkins for Blue Jays, Benjamin Walker for Missouri, Logan Schmidt for the Dolphins, Luke Wallace for the Bills, Stretch Roberts for the Rays, Dion Blount for the Tigers, Pooh Splitter for the Royals, Daniel Spencer for Alabama, Dylan Finnegan for Kansas, Gabriel Weber, Penn State, Ryan Saunders, Ohio State, Andrew Sampson, Maryland, Elijah Samuel, North Carolina, Carter Mason for the Buccaneers. So those are all the coaches that you'll be seeing for the season. So hopefully it'll be an interesting season for the SCBA. Hoping for big things. In preseason, there were a few very high performances. A lot of games that had 30-plus points scored. Then again, that is preseason, so don't really know if that's going to be for the regular season, but that's going to be the end of this episode. So hope you enjoyed, and see you.